From 1976, the Runaways with Cherry Bomb, their signature song. The Runaways were Cherie Currie, who was lead singer, of course, Joan Jett, Lita Ford, Jackie Fox, and the late Sandy West. And they formed in California back in 1975, released their debut album, The Runaways, which is what Cherry Bomb is on. Queens of Noise, live in Japan, Waiting for the Night. The band split up in 1979, and despite infighting and almost satanic management, have proven to be the most influential all-girl rock and roll band in popular music history. Joan Jett and Lita Ford, of course, went off to their great solo success. Cherie Currie teamed up with her sister and put out some solo music, and then went to Hollywood, and you saw her in movies like Foxes with Jodie Foster. She carved out quite a career for herself there, and she got into a whole different kind of carving later on. We'll get into that in just a bit. But with us tonight, lead singer of the Runaways, Cherie Currie.
That would be me.
Well, Cherie, this is a tremendous thrill to speak to you after all those emails exchanged.
Well, it's a pleasure to talk to you too, Ghosty. How are you?
I'm doing good, and how are you, first of all?
Oh, just terrific. Really, really great.
This is going to be an extremely busy and crazy and hectic year for you, because you're going to get even more attention than you normally get this year with this Runaways movie.
Well, I'll tell you, Kenny Laguna, God bless him, Joan Jett's manager, he really, if it wasn't for him, this would not have happened. And this man is tenacious, and he took my book, and he got it out there, and he got this movie being made. And I'll tell you, I've just been a low-key chainsaw wood carver for the last several years, and yeah, my life is changing basically overnight. And it's very exciting because, as you know, Ghosty, the Runaways never got the notoriety we deserved for what we went through. And it's great, the fact that my kid just turned 18, and he's a big Runaways fan. And, it's awesome.
Now, do you have any idea who's going to play you?
I do not.
Oh.
I know Kristen Stewart from Twilight is portraying Joan.
Right.
She's a true talent, and that's just great. And but no, I don't know yet.
Now, the amazing thing about the Runaways, you're right. During that time period, the Runaways didn't get the recognition they deserved. But over time, the sort of the legend of the Runaways has grown and grown and grown.
It certainly has. I've been shocked and surprised numerous times of really how people are getting it now, 30-some-odd years later. And, I'm just glad I'm here to see it. I just wish Sandy was here to see it.
Yeah.
And, but Joan's really excited, and I'm excited, and we're just hoping that it's going to be the kind of success that we all have dreamed of. We're going to do everything we can to make sure of it as well, so...
Well, I think it will, because not only does every girl band out there, not that there's all that many, still it's sort of a male-dominated world rock, but, all girl bands, all of them go, oh, the Runaways, they're the I guess, four mothers, is that even a word? I don't know what you would call it. They're the trailblazers, they're the ones,
Well, we used to say that Susie Quattro and Fanny, kind of knocked on the door and we kicked it down. I remember we used to say that when we were, kids on the road. And it's just very nice now to see these kids really, a lot of girls coming into rock and roll and actually and a lot of them, like Belinda Carlisle, I remember hearing her on the radio saying that she was a huge Runaways fan. And, these things I never knew. And then, of course, now, we're hoping possibly that we might actually get a nod from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Don't know yet, but that's also a really neat dream. It's, at least for me, from my son Jake, who is an incredible musician. Picked up the guitar 5 years ago, and now is just superb. And anytime I perform, he performs with me. He is just incredible. He'd give Lita a run for her money.
The funny thing is, I saw a clip of you on YouTube recently, and obviously, these days you're not wearing the corset and the fishnet stockings and all that, but, you jumped on stage somewhere, I don't know where it was, and you launched into Cherry Bomb, and all of a sudden, it was 1976 all over again.
Well, thanks. I really wish I knew what show that was. I do go up here and there, have in the past with friends, so on and so forth. And I was actually doing some shows with Gretchen Bonaducci, who is one of my best friends, really a great gal. And she kind of got me back out there doing this a little bit more. But, of course, I had the opportunity to get on stage with Joan twice. And Joan, I have to say, is truly the greatest rock and roll performer ever. She is just beyond fantastic. I mean, this gal, she was born to do it, and she's continued to do it, and I can't even imagine her getting better. She's just so legendary, first of all, but just her persona on stage, to me, I'm in awe every single time I see her. So, I have to say that was a great thing for the Runaways, for her to have that kind of, what would I call it, a bouncing board or something where that got her out there, because it would have just been a tragedy had she not become the icon that she is, because she's also truly, she helps girls every day, want to get out there and do this. And so it hasn't stopped, as far as the legend of the Runaways. It just hasn't stopped.
Now, I don't know if you know what's going to happen with the music of the Runaways, but I would assume with the movie coming out, and they're filming the movie now or something to that effect, or they're putting it together, right, the film?
Yes. Yeah,
so,
they're still casting.
So we're looking at maybe the end of the year or the beginning of next year for the release date of that movie. But leading up to that, I would think, wouldn't you, that maybe the Runaways material comes back out on CD, re-released and all that kind of stuff?
I sure hope so. I mean, Joan did the majority of the writing. Her songwriting has just been incredible. And a lot of my favorite songs, like You Drive Me Wild and Blackmail, and I actually was telling her, please redo You Drive Me Wild. I just love that tune. But I'm thinking, I'm pretty sure that we're going to be able to bring, 30 years ago, that kind of music into the present time, which I think is really terrific. This is so much fun. I'm so excited. And if Kenny Laguna is listening, I love you. You're incredible, and thank you.
Well, I'll tell you, Cherie, you've given me a radio cue, so we're going to hear that song. We're going to hear You Drive Me Wild, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about life after the Runaways.
Tokyo, good evening. Please welcome from Hollywood, California, the Queens of Noise, the Runaways.
Well, there you go. The Runaways, live in Japan, 1977, with You Drive Me Wild. We're on the phone with Cherie Currie, lead singer of the Runaways. And Cherie, after you left the band, you went into movies. How did that come about?
Well, a guy named Dennis Brody, who was with the William Morris Agency, approached me at a show and just asked if I'd be interested in acting. And I thought, well, I consider myself a performer, so why not? And the first two auditions I went out on, I got, which the first one was Rock and Roll High School. At the same time, I got Fox's, and I chose between the two, and I took Fox's. It was really pretty stressful, I'll tell you, to be acting alongside Jodie Foster. But it was a very easy transition. It just like my life had been from the time I joined the Runaways. It was somewhat of a whirlwind, just like a cyclone that just didn't end. And that's kind of what happened when I got into movies as well. But it was a short-lived thing. And, I
was going to say, but then, you also segued into TV and did TV appearances as well.
Here and there, yes. Yeah, I did. And then I met Robert Hayes, a wonderful actor, and we got married and had our son, and I basically kind of left all that stuff behind to raise my kid, which is actually what Lita did as well. She's got two boys, and that was very important to her. There were opportunities that came up, but she had her two young sons, and she chose to be a mom. And I'll tell you right now, I can't fault that.
No, not at all.
No.
But
I'm glad to see her back.
Yeah.
I actually saw a video of her in New York, and I thought she was terrific.
You know, I have to say, watching clips of the Runaways on YouTube, I mean, your stage presence is very, very fierce and intimidating. And now it's even more intimidating because nowadays you're wielding a chainsaw. But you're wielding it in a creative way. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, about 7 years ago, I was going to Malibu, and I had been doing relief carving with wood for a while. And I saw these guys chainsaw carving at the side of the road, and I pulled over, and I went in their gallery, and they had these beautiful mermaids. And this little voice just said, "You can do this." And so I approached the owner, Rio, and I asked him if he could take me on. And he did after seeing some of my artwork. And my third piece was accepted into the Malibu Art Expo, which even Rio, he didn't even get a piece accepted in. And I just realized then that this was something I wanted to do. It was very scary, I will tell you. I mean, he did teach me how to not kill myself with the saw, which is
that's lesson number one. Yeah,
yeah. But and you know, I didn't just subconsciously decide I wanted to do something that women don't normally do. It just happened. But I've been enjoying that for 7 years, being a pro carver, and I have endorsements from Echo, and I travel and I do demos for them, and it's been fun.
You have a website.
Yes, yeah, chainsawchick.com, not the, because there's another gal that has the, and no, which I really would not want someone to confuse me with her, but it's chainsawchick.com, but I don't think I'm officially known as Chainsaw Chick. I have been, but my name is Cherie Currie, and yeah, I am a chainsaw carver.
And you've got also the Cherie Currie website as well.
Yes, I do.
Which is CherieCurrie.com, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, Cherie, this has been great talking to you. Wherever you are, I'm assuming it's a nice day because I hear birds chirping in the background.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous day here in L.A. Yeah, it's beautiful, Ghosty. Well, come out sometime. I'll take you to lunch when you come to L.A.